I'm good. Let me make sure I'm in the screen. Okay. All right. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Good to have you in class today. My name is Brenda. Welcome if you are joining online. We are actually going to start legs up the wall in a gentle inversion. So if you've been on your feet today, this is a great way to just kind of help relax and settle the nervous system. If you are at home and if you don't have a wall nearby, I used my chest of drawers, which is kind of a long wall, so to speak. You can use that. Or if you absolutely don't have a wall nearby, lay down on your back. And once you're laid down on your back, you can either use a couple of stacked books or a block to set underneath your sacrum. And then legs can come up once the block or books is on the sacrum. The idea is to bring some gentle blood flow into the heart and the head. This is a great posture if you struggle with insomnia. And arms can be your choice. If you want something more internal to start, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and really connect in with your wave-like breath. If you want something more opening, you could open the arms up into either a T shape or bend the elbows in a cactus shape. You kind of decide what feels best as we settle in for these first few minutes. This is a gentle class, and I know that can mean different things for different people. Just take it where you need today. Our postures will be a bit softer to help us really connect in with what's going on in our bodies without judgment, and also to soften the thoughts a little bit so we don't feel so attached to what the mind is chattering about. So when we focus in on our deeper breathing and we feel more embodied through the postures that we move through, there is this overall softening that takes place. And we start to feel just more like who we really are, not the labels that we've given ourselves or that we've received from others, but that essence of who we really are, not based on what we do or what we have. Continuing to really deepen your breath, slow it down even a little bit more. And can you make your exhale maybe a bit longer than the inhale? And notice your spine against the earth. Allow that to be a gentle reminder that you are supported. Whatever you have going later today or later this week, as we enter into the midweek, just know that you are safe and you are supported in the small actions that you take each day moving forward. Then I would invite you to place one or both hands on your heart. Use this as a just connecting in and setting an intention for your practice. So it can be a simple word or a phrase. And you can use this intention as a mantra throughout class just to help keep you a little more centered and a little more focused when the mind starts to chatter away with maybe another to-do or a story. Say that intention to yourself as you really breathe it in. And then release your hands down along by your side. And take the right leg and just move the right leg away from the wall. We're just going to rotate the ankle. Pick a direction. It doesn't really matter which direction you start. Spread the toes. And then reverse that direction. And then flex the foot as if you're stamping the sky. And then point the toes, feeling the arch of the sole of the foot. And then keeping that arch in the sole of the foot, just pull the toes back so you've got like Barbie feet. Just stretch the toes, splay them as much as you can. And then let the foot relax. Let's interlace the hands behind the hamstring or the shin if you have a little bit more flexibility. Begin to use those cupped hands as a support to draw that right leg maybe an inch or more towards you, just kind of lengthening out the hamstring. One more deep breath. And then bend the right knee into the chest. Move the interlaced hands to the top of the knee or the shin and give it a good squeeze in. Feel the right side of the low back settle down into the earth. Deep breath in and out. Now, option is to stay right here or come into half happy baby. So you're going to take that right knee, move it more outward towards your armpit. Reach down with your right hand to that right sole of the foot and bring the sole of the foot up toward the sky. So you're just getting a little bit deeper into the hamstring and the hip. Use a little bit of pressure on that right hand to press that right knee down toward the earth, just opening up the hip a little bit more. Really feel again that right side of the back really nestle into the earth. One more deep breath. And then you're going to take this right leg and draw it across, coming into an upside down number 4. So the outside of your right ankle comes onto that left thigh. If it doesn't quite reach over, you can make it the right sole of the foot come to the inner left thigh. If it doesn't quite come all the way to the top of the left thigh, just depends on how open your hips are feeling. So your legs basically look like an upside down number 4. Flex that right foot if you can. Option to keep the left leg straight on the wall. If you want to intensify, you're going to bend the left knee and place the left sole of the foot onto the wall. This will draw that right leg more towards you. It's a little bit deeper of a hip stretch. We're just getting warmed up, so take it as much as you would like. We're going to stay here for a few deep breaths. So see it once again. Can you slow your breath down? And if the mind starts to wander away again, what was that intention that you set at the beginning of class? One more deep breath. And then if that left knee is bent, begin to straighten it back up against the wall, and we'll just uncross that right leg. Right leg comes next to the left. Just settling in here for a breath or two, and just kind of notice the energy that you've created down that right leg. And then same with the left leg. So just pull that left leg off the wall a bit. Begin to rotate the ankle, pick a direction to start. Really spread the toes. And then reverse the direction of the ankle rotation. And then flex the foot, stamp the sky. And then point the toes, feel the sole of the foot. And then keep that arch in the foot, but just pull the toes back, Barbie feet. Splay the toes out. And then let the foot relax. Interlace the hands once again at the back of the left hamstring or shin, or excuse me, calf. And then draw that left leg maybe an inch or a little more toward you, opening up the hamstring. Deeper bend in that left knee if you need. One more cycle of breath and inhale and exhale. And then you'll bend the left knee, interlace hands comes to the shin or the knee. And really hug that knee tightly in toward the chest. Feel that left side of the low back settle down. And then from here, option to stay right here if you'd like, or come into that half happy baby. So bring the left knee more toward the outer edge of your shoulder, kind of where your armpit is. Reach down with the left hand to the left sole of the foot. And the left sole of the foot comes up toward the sky. Just use a little bit of pressure on that sole of the foot, drawing that knee down toward the earth. Just opening up that hip a little bit more. Really feel that left side of the low back settle in. Deep belly breaths here, a couple more rounds. And then from here, coming into that either upside down number 4 or be kind of like an upside down tree pose. So the left sole of your foot either comes to the inner right thigh or bringing that outside of the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Either one begins to open the hip. Flex the left foot if you can, just so the ankle doesn't sickle inward. And your option is to stay right here, or you can bend that right knee, right sole of the foot comes onto the wall. And we're staying here for several breaths, opening up this left hip. Once again, as we hold this posture, this is your opportunity to focus more inward. I call it an opportunity because we get to really begin to understand where our mind habitually goes with the thoughts. So oftentimes what floats in and out of the mind, that mind chatter, is simply a habit that we've developed over the years. It's not who we are. Some of us like to think more in the past. Some of us are more future planners. For some people, it kind of ping pongs back and forth. Just kind of notice where the natural tendency is. The more awareness you have, the more choice you can create with what you would like to do with that. Maybe say your intention or bring your awareness back to your deeper breathing for one more cycle, and inhale and exhale. And then if that right knee is bent, you slowly straighten it back up onto the wall, and then uncross the left leg, meet it to the right leg, and your legs up the wall. Just kind of notice how each leg feels. Let's draw both knees into the chest. Give them a good squeeze in. You could rock a little side to side if you would like. Just kind of massage out the low back. And then we're going to roll all the way over to one side. Doesn't matter which side you choose. Pause there for a breath or two. And then begin to rise up to a seated posture. We'll meet in cross-legged. Option to sit on the edge of your blanket. If you've got tight hips and you feel like your knees are kind of hiked up into your armpits, sitting on the edge of the blanket helps rotate the pelvis forward. We'll roll the shoulders back and down. Kind of notice the openness you've created in the legs. And start traveling up the body. So with hands onto the thighs, just going to begin some slow torso circles. So again, doesn't matter which direction you start. Just going to roll forward to this one side and back and then to the other side. You could choose to get your head and neck involved if you would like. And you can make these as conservative, meaning as small, or as large and dynamic as you like. Option to coordinate the breath. Maybe you inhale one direction, exhale out the other direction. And about 1 or 2 more cycles depending on your pace. And then we're going to reverse the direction. So opposite way you go. Again, you can start small and get larger in the circles if you'd like, or you could keep them small. Move the head and neck with it. And then finishing up your round here. Eventually coming back to a neutral spine. Spine is nice and tall. From here, let's roll the shoulders a few times up, back, and down. Maybe an exhale on the down just to release any, I call it weight of the world tension that we like to carry on our shoulders. A couple more times. And then finally, you just feel the shoulders relax, the upper back draw downward. Palms could be either facing down onto the thighs for more of a grounding experience, or you could flip the palms for more of a receiving. Close the eyes down for just a moment. Once again, notice. So often we move through our day so quickly, we forget to notice the details in our body, the subtle energy. Breathing in that intention once again. And then bringing the hands down by your side, fingertips down, touching the earth. We'll drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Lengthen out that left side of the neck. And then ever so slowly, just kind of move inch by inch. You're going to be dipping the chin downward. And then eventually rolling toward the center of the chest. But take your time to get there. Our neck muscles can be a bit stubborn to release. And you may find a spot that feels really tense. I would encourage you to pause and stay there and breathe. And then once that tightness dissolves just a bit, and begin to roll through the center of the chest and move up the right side. Oftentimes one side feels a little bit tighter than the other, and that's really normal. Again, pause at the spots that feel extra tense. And can you be in that tense place without trying to rush past it? Eventually, left ear comes to left shoulder, gaze comes forward. And then slowly bring the head up back to a neutral position when you're ready. Deep inhale. And a relaxing exhale. This time, inhale, we'll sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands fold forward, moving into a forward fold. Hands land down in front of you. Release the head and neck. Option, you could sway a little side to side, or you could just remain stationary. Exhale it out first. And on the inhale, sweeping back up, fingertips reach up to the sky. We're going to circle the arms back behind you and then squeeze the shoulder blades, bring the gaze and the heart up toward the sky. Just a gentle back bend. One more breath. And then walk the hands back by your side. I'm going to switch the cross of the legs, so opposite leg in front, just so the other leg gets an opportunity. Root down through the sit bones. And then again, inhale, we'll sweep the arms out and up. And then exhale, forward fold. Release the hands down in front of you. The head and neck relax. Again, if you'd like to sway a little side to side, that's one option, or you could remain still. Breathe so deeply, you could feel like your low back expand on the inhale and soften on the exhale. Couple more breaths. Exhale it out first. On the inhale, slowly rising on up, fingertips reach up to the sky. Again, we'll circle the arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades, bring the heart and the gaze up toward the sky. Option to stay rooted on the sit bones, or you could lift your hips coming onto the knees, opening up a little bit more. Again, it's just an option. Take it or leave it. One more breath here. And then if you've lifted the hips, we'll tuck the chin in and lower the hips back down. Coming back to your neutral spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Can you pull that intention into your heart space? Deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. And then from here, coming forward into a tabletop position. So you could roll over the knees or bring the knees to the side. In your tabletop position, spread the fingers nice and wide. If you have blocks, have them up by the top of your mat. You may need them a little bit later. Line up the knees and the hips and the wrists and the shoulders. Just going to begin some gentle cat-cows. So on the inhale, the belly drops, the gaze shifts forward. Whenever you're ready to exhale, you round it out, chin tucks into the chest. And you're just moving at your own breath pace through your cat-cows. If you want to add some side to side or rolling movements, feel free to do so. A couple more cycles, so evening out from side to side. We'll meet back in our neutral tabletop position. Again, lining up the wrists and the shoulders so they're stacked. Now have you tuck your toes and engage your core, belly button to spine so much that your knees float about an inch off the ground, just to activate the core muscles a bit. If you've dropped your head so that you're looking back at your knees, I'd encourage you to bring your gaze up a few inches in front of your fingertips. This just keeps your neck in line with your spine. Stay strong here, just one more breath. And then on the exhale, your knees float back down. And we'll bring the knees wide, about mat width, big toes press in and push back to child's pose. Forehead rests either on a block or folded hands or the mat. Settle in here for a moment. One more cleansing breath. Inhale. And a releasing exhale. And then on the inhale, rising the hips back up. Bring the knees in about hip width apart. Have your wrists slightly in front of your shoulders, setting up for downward facing dog. So tuck the toes. Bring the hips high to straighten the arms. And then when you feel ready, begin to pedal out the feet. So lowering one heel and then the other. And then coming into your downward facing dog with your feet come to stillness, heels drop towards the earth. Give the head a little shake out if it's feeling a little tense. And then we'll lift both heels, bend the knees, and baby step your way up to meet your hands. So however many steps it takes, we'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. You could ragdoll the arms here, bending both elbows, swaying side to side if you'd like. Knees could be deeply bent if needed. Notice your jaw, see if you're holding any tension. Maybe open the mouth, move the chin side to side. Notice if you're holding any tension around your eyes or forehead. You may blink the eyes a bit. And then we're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Arms could be long, or you could place them on your thighs to help support the low back as you roll on it. Eventually, shoulders roll back and down. Come into your mountain pose. Peek at your feet, just see if they're parallel. Pick up the toes, spread them, and then set them back down. Really feel that connection to the earth. Another reminder that you are supported. Roll the shoulders down and back away from the ears. Feel your heart shine forward. Feel the crown of the head rise toward the sky. Deep inhale and exhale here, reminding yourself of your intention once again. And we'll begin some soft sun cells. We'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up. We'll exhale, right hand comes down as you lean over to the right, root down through both feet. Bottom arm reaches back up. Here we'll bend both elbows, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then inhale, reaching back up toward the sky. Then left hand comes down, leaning over left. Equal weight in both feet. Inhale, reaching that bottom arm back up. And then exhale, forward fold. You could bring the hands through heart center, or you could open them wide like wings. One deep breath here in your forward fold. Exhale it out first. Inhale to a half lift. Hands come on the shins, straighten the spine, nice tall spine. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, rising back on up, either hands through heart center or they open wide. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that same exact thing one more time. Inhale, arms float out and up. Exhale, right hand comes down, leaning right. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, cactus the arms, gentle back bend if you'd like. Inhale, fingertips reach. And then left hand comes down, leaning left. Inhale, bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Nice tall spine. Core draws up and in. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rising on up. Greeting this new day with light and love. Exhale, hands to heart. And then we'll add on. Inhale, arms rise out and up. Exhale, right hand comes down, lean right. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, fingertips reach back up. Exhale, left hand comes down, lean left. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Let's take the right leg back. So big step back with that right leg. If you'd like, grab your blocks to rise up the floor. That just helps kind of peel the chest off of that front leg. Peek at your front ankle and knee, see if they're stacked, just so the knee isn't forward of the ankle. Bring your heart and gaze forward. We're going to bring this back knee down. We're getting into that right hip flexor. Options would be to keep the hands on the blocks, or you could rise up a little bit, hands on upper thigh, or you could reach the fingertips up toward the sky. So no option is necessarily better than the other. It's just kind of how your energy level is feeling today. One more deep breath as we open up this right hip flexor. Stay for an inhale. And then on the exhale, coming back down. Either hands can come onto the mat or the blocks. Let's pick up this back knee. You're going to spin to the right into a wide-legged forward fold. So you're just going to keep moving to the right, moving to the right. Parallel the feet. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold into your wide-legged. Shake out the head and neck if you need. Loosen up the jaw. One more deep breath. Exhale out. On the inhale, half lift. And then spinning back to the front of your mat, back into your runner's lunge. Come up onto that back ball of the foot. And then from here, move your blocks off to the side if you're using them. Use your hands to step back into your plank. Plank could be with knees down if you would prefer. We're going to hold your version of plank for one more breath. Stay for an inhale. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Hips come high, up and back. Few breaths here to pedal out the feet. Settle in for one more breath. Feet come to stillness. And then inhale, lift the heels. Bend the knees, baby step up to meet your hands. Hang in your forward fold. Exhale it in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising on up. And then exhale, hands to heart. We'll continue on to the other side. Inhale, arms rise out. And exhale, left hand comes down, lean left. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, reaching back up. And then right arm comes down, leaning right. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, half lift, nice tall spine. Exhale, fold. This time plant the hands and the left leg takes a big step back. Use your blocks if needed. Peek at that front ankle and knee just to see if it's in alignment. Bring the heart and gaze forward and then bring the back knee down. Getting into the left hip flexor. Shoulders are soft. And again, options, you can use blocks on any height. You could place the hands on the top thigh, or you could reach fingertips up overhead. Let your gaze settle on one spot. Really breathe deep into this left lower belly to release that hip flexor, especially if we sit a lot. Stay for an inhale. And then exhale, lowering down. Hands could be on the mat or on your blocks. We're going to pick up this back knee. You're spinning to the left this time and parallel the feet. So you're in a wide-legged fold. Exhale as you fold in. Let the crown of the head come toward the earth. Again, a little shake out with the head if you need. Maybe blink the eyes if you're feeling tension around the forehead. One more breath. Exhale out. On the inhale, half lift. And spinning back to the front of the mat into your runner's lunge. Come up on that back ball of the foot. Move the blocks off to the side. Use your hands to frame the foot. Stepping back plank. Again, plank could be with knees down, holding here for one breath. This time we're going to lower all the way down onto our belly. So elbows are going to squeeze in and lower all the way down. Release the toes. From here, 3 baby cobras. On your inhale, squeeze the elbows in, lift the chest. And then exhale, lower. 2 more times. And this can be at your own breath pace. So you might be a little bit different than mine or your neighbors. When you finished your third one, toes tuck. And then your choice, press back either to child's pose or down dog. So either one for a few deep breaths. And then from downward facing dog, one more breath here. We'll lift the heels, bend the knees, and travel up to meet your hands. You might do one big step, or you might do your baby steps again. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising on up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Give yourself a moment here. Pull in that intention. Exhale. I'm going to come into a little bit of a balance sequence. I'm going to have you root down through your right foot. We're going to start in tree. So bending that left knee and moving it out to the side. And your left sole of the foot could land either by the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh, you decide. Find one spot to gaze at that'll help settle when it gets windy outside or inside. Hands could stay at heart center, or you could release the arms out into branches. You could have a little fun with the branches. You could move your branches. You could keep them very sturdy. Just kind of make it an exploration of how you can stay rooted on that right sole of the foot, but yet lifted and light in the upper body. A couple more deep breaths. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands back to heart center. I'm going to release this left knee forward and come into a one-legged mountain. So bring it to a 90-degree angle. So hip, knee, and ankle is your 90 degree. Again, option to stay right here with hands at heart center, or you could lift fingertips up toward the sky. Option to stay right here, or open arm twist to the left. So the left arm comes back, right arm comes forward. See if you can bring your gaze to that back hand. Again, stay rooted in the right foot. One more breath. Exhale it out. On the inhale, rotate back through center. And then exhale, hands come to heart center, left foot comes down. Give it a little shake out. Nice work. All right, we're human, 2 legs, other side. Okay, here we go. Root down through the left foot. Now here's the always trick with the other side. People are like, oh, I know where we're going. And so we like get ahead of ourselves. See if you can stay present with each breath. All right, root down through the left foot, find your spot to gaze at, and then tree on the right side. So opening up that right hip, knee comes outward. Again, you decide if it's at the ankle, the calf, just kind of avoiding the knee, or the inner thigh. Hands start at heart center. Settle in here. Option to stay right here. Option to grow branches, moving the arms outward or upward. Maybe you choose something different than last time. Maybe it's the same. Just really check in with your breath. Is it smooth and fluid? Even if you wobble a bit, it gets a little windy, no worries. You just come back in. Couple more breaths. And then exhale, stay present here as you bring both hands together at heart center. And then right foot releases in front, 90-degree angle with that hip, knee, and ankle. Option to stay here. Option to lift the arms up overhead. Stay here or open arm twist to the right. So the right arm comes back, left arm comes forward, gaze comes to that back hand. Move down through the left foot. You've got it. One more cycle of breath. On the inhale, gracefully rotating back to center. And then exhale, hands come down to heart center, right foot meets left. All right, shake that out. All right. Standing back in mountain, kind of notice how left and right legs feel, feeling that rootedness. Inhale, arms rise out and up. Exhale, right hand comes down, leaning right. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, fingertips reach up. And then left hand comes down, leaning left. Bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. This time, plant both hands, step both feet back. Coming into your plank. Holding plank for one breath. Knees could be down if you would prefer. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, elbows squeeze in as you lower all the way down to the belly. Release the toes. Inhale, cobra just once, maybe a little bit bigger if you'd like. Exhale, fold. Tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. One more breath in your down dog. And then from here, what I'm going to have you do is step about halfway up your mat, feet wide. So about mat width, not all the way up to your hands, maybe about halfway, heels in, toes out, setting up for yogi squat. So you're going to bring your hips down in between the heels. You could use a block to sit on. If that's still a little much for your knees, forearms could rest onto your thighs. Bring the elbows to the insides of the knees. Hands come to heart center, and then ever so gently begin to press the knees, inner thighs out, or the inner knees out with the elbows. Shoulders are soft. Opening up the hips a little bit more. One more full and deep breaths. Stay for the inhale. On the exhale, hands lower down to the earth. Ever so slowly begin to straighten the legs. Parallel the feet. Maybe sway a little side to side if you would like. And then rolling up one vertebrae at a time. From here, you can either step in or heel toe your feet in. So big toes touch with a little bit of space in the heels. We're gonna come down through a kind of a deeper bend, what's called a wall slide. If you have any knee issues, you can skip this part and just meet us in seated. Find that one spot on either the wood floor or something to stare at, because you're gonna lift the heels up, arms come up parallel to the floor. Feel all that activation in the feet and the calves. Now with a nice tall spine, we're slowly gonna lower down. Hips come toward the heels, so begin to bend the knees. And you're like the slowest elevator ever going down. Keeping those thighs nice and strong. On the inhale, arms sweep open. Exhale, curl yourself up into a little ball. Give yourself a little hug. And then coming back onto your seat. Bring the feet out in front of you. Bring our hands behind us, just kind of working out the hips a little bit. So feet wide, wider than hip width. Just kind of tick-tock the knees from one side to the other. And we'll make this into a gentle twist. So whichever the direction the knees are going, doesn't have to be the same as mine. You're going to rotate in that same direction. Hands come behind you. And then option to stay up on the palms of the hands, or you could lower down to the forearms, releasing the head and neck. So again, you can make it more upright onto the palms or lowering down onto forearms. Exhale it out. And then inhale, rising back up. If you've lowered down, we'll rotate through center, just move to the other side. So knees shift, rotate your whole torso in the direction of your knees, coming behind you with either palms of hands or lowering down to the forearms. Forehead could rest on stacked hands, or you could bring one of those blocks along. Exhale it out fully. On your inhale, rising back up, rotating back through center. Then from here, we're going to bring soles of the feet together, knees wide. You can again sit on the edge of your blanket if you would like. And your heels could either be further away from you, or you could pull them in more of a traditional butterfly shape. Doesn't really matter. On your inhale, let's straighten the spine first. Begin to lean forward. And then option, you could stay right here, or you could fold forward, rounding the spine, releasing the head and neck. You could bring those elbows to the lower legs and gently press them down toward the earth, again, gently. And that's just an option. Another option would be you can take your thumbs, massage the inner soles of your feet. Couple more full and deep breaths. Exhale it out first. And on the inhale, slowly rising up. And we'll take the hands, seal the knees in, and we're going to lower down onto your back. Have one block nearby within arm's reach. You may use it or not, depends what you're feeling. But lowering down all the way onto your spine. From here, let's bend the knees, place the soles of the feet onto the mat. First option would be to come into a restorative version of bridge, so that you would use your block. Walk your heels back towards you so your knee and ankle are in alignment, and then lift the hips up, slide that block either the first or the second height. I wouldn't recommend the third, that's a little skinny. And place it down by the tailbone near your sacrum, and you can rest your sacrum onto the block. This is also another gentle inversion. Option here is you could either bring the legs up or you could extend them out. This gets a little bit deeper into the hip flexor. So start by maybe straightening out one leg. I would suggest straightening one leg at a time and bringing the left heel onto the mat. And then test it out with the other leg. Bend that left knee back in, straighten the right leg. And then yogi's choice is kind of based on, this can be intense on the low back. You could either alternate legs again or lengthen out both legs, bringing both heels onto the mat. If that feels like a little much, you could also lower the block height down as well. So if you're on the second height, you could lower it down to the first. That's also another option as well. Couple more deep breaths. And from wherever you're at, bending both knees, placing both soles of the feet back onto the mat. Lift the hips up just enough to slide the block out and lower all the way down. Once your spine is all the way on the mat, hug both knees into the chest. Again, you could rock side to side or make little circles. And then coming to stillness, bringing the knees wide, coming into a full happy baby this time. So flexing both feet and bringing them up toward the sky. Hands could either come to the soles of the feet. If they don't easily reach the feet, you could hook the elbows behind the backs of the knees. That's another option. And then bring some pressure onto the feet to draw the knees down. Option to rock side to side or option to be stationary. And then slowly releasing the feet, bringing them back down. And then yogi's sort of final choice, if there's any final posture you would like to do before we settle into Shavasana. Feel free, or if you're ready for Shavasana, you're welcome to cover up with a blanket or extra clothing. And I will call you out with a chant when it is time. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Jase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Drawing in a deep, deep breath. Bringing in some small movement into your body. And with a little bit bigger movement, coming back into your sacred space. So eventually you find yourself either rolling to one side or rolling up to a seated posture where we will close out class. Bringing hands together at heart center, thumbs pressed into the heart space. Reminding of yourself of your intention that you set one last time before you take it off of your mat into your day, every person you encounter. And that is when yoga begins. And the light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Great to see all of you. Great to have you at home. Namaste.